Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is HHN Anime. Today, we have a new heartwarming manhwa about Kim Jio, a man with an immortal heart who was tortured by scientists. Anyway, let's jump right into the story. From the moment he was born, this man was imprisoned in a dark underground facility for 10 years. Every day, he was subjected to all kinds of mutation experiments. What's more, each experiment left his muscles and bones torn to shreds. But even so, he couldn't die, because he possessed an immortal heart that allowed him to regenerate infinitely. The only drawback was that he was left in a skeletal form, and the pain of each regeneration only grew more intense. But no matter what he had become, he had to escape the underground lab. Jio told himself he couldn't get caught, so he grabbed 2 live wires and touched them together. A massive bolt of electricity shot out. Kim Jio thought to himself, if I get caught here, I'll lose everything. And so, Jio electrocuted himself, taking the guards down with him. He told himself that death was the better option, having already calculated his next move. After all, I have the heart of resurrection in my body, so I can't die. Jio turned into a charred, living corpse. He was a resurrector. In this world, there are special hearts, a mutation that occurs in a very small number of people. They possess superhuman abilities depending on their heart, which are called mutant hearts. Everyone admired these abilities, calling them a blessing from the heavens. Kim Jio, digging through a trash can, just scoffed. A blessing from the heavens. How ridiculous. He was exhausted with his own body. This heart is the reason I ended up like this. Jio continued to rummage around. Now, I need to find something to eat. I'm about to go crazy from hunger. Then, he suddenly found a recently discarded piece of bread. Kim Jio quickly picked it up and began chewing greedily. It still smells edible. However, he stopped when he saw a small dog sitting next to him, wagging its tail. Huh? Jio turned to it and offered, "You hungry too? Want some?" And with that, the dog snatched the piece of bread from his hand. "Good boy," Jio praised. Suddenly, a commotion erupted nearby. Hold on, where did she run off to? Kim Jio quickly recognized the voices. He peeked out to see what was going on, wondering, are those the guys from the lab? A group of men was surrounding a girl. Come on, I just want to hang out with you for a bit. Why are you making this so difficult? Kim Jio quietly assessed the situation. Nope, just some street punks, Song Hee-ji explained nervously. I'm still in high school, but they wouldn't let her go. High school girls know plenty these days. Come on, stop playing hard to get. It's getting really old. Jio's attention then fell on the bag in Hee-ji's hand. Dog food. Is she feeding stray dogs? He then stepped forward and called out, "Excuse me." Jio spoke in a low voice. Could you please stop? The men were confused when they saw him. Who the hell is this guy? A beggar? Jio pulled down his hood and glared at them, denying it. I'm not a beggar. His appearance sent them into a panic. Huh? The blonde guy shoved Jio away, screaming. Jio managed to swing a club down in time. He seriously warned them off. Stop making so much noise and get lost. The men were scared out of their wits. They turned and ran, screaming, "It's a ghost!" Song Hee-ji's face also went pale. She fell to the ground and mumbled, "Thank you." In her eyes, Jio looked like a demon charging toward her. Song Hee-ji raised her hands and screamed, "Don't come near me! Don't come near me! Don't come near me!" However, a second later, she froze in disbelief as she watched him start devouring the dog food that had spilled onto the ground. Song Hee-ji couldn't understand what was happening and exclaimed, "Huh?" She called out to Jio in confusion. "That's dog food." Realizing his behavior was strange, he turned to her and said, Sorry. I scared you, didn't I? My apologies. Can I have some of this?" Song Hee-ji grew even more terrified. She stood up and ran away in a panic, unable to even scream properly. Even while eating, Jio noticed. Just as I thought, she ran for it. He reassured himself, "It's fine. This way, I can eat in peace." Hiding behind a pillar, Song Hee-ji watched, completely baffled. What was that? She wondered, utterly confused. Is he human? No, nothing can survive looking like that. Don't tell me. Song Hee-ji quickly realized. A mutant heart. She thought to herself, I've heard mutant hearts can have all sorts of abilities. He saved me, yet I was so rude to him. And so, Song Hee-ji approached Kim Jio. She bowed her head, trembling, and held out a bag of food, saying, I'm sorry. If you're hungry, would you like to eat this? It's a Subway sandwich. Jio was surprised and asked, You're giving this to me? Song Hee-ji forced a smile and replied, Yeah, haha. I'm sorry for running away when I saw you. He casually reached out his hand and replied, No, it's fine, thank you. Kim Jio took the bag, feeling bewildered. This is the first time I've ever received food that looks like this. He took a bite and thought, Subway. I've seen this wrapper in the trash a few times. Then, Jio was overcome with emotion. This is the taste of heaven. I never knew a flavor this incredible could exist. The vegetables, the bread, the meat, Everything is so fresh. This is a taste I could die for with no regrets. To Jio, Song Hee-ji was an angel who had descended from heaven. She looked up and asked, Mr. Kim Jio, may I ask what your name is? He answered calmly, I'm Kim Jio. Hearing this, Song Hee-ji smiled brightly and introduced herself. It's nice to meet you, Jio. I'm Song Hee-ji. Then, she asked with some curiosity, by the way, why are you out here like this? Jio answered honestly, I'm on the run from the people at the lab. This made her a bit uneasy. A lab? You're being chased? Jio looked down at the ground and replied, yes. There's a laboratory that captures mutant hearts like me. They want to drag me back there. She asked with concern, I've heard stories about that, but is it all true? What does the lab want to do to you? Kim Jio lowered his head, deep in thought, and said, let's see. He recalled the barbaric memories and began to tell his story. I was experimented on and tortured for the last 10 years. They forced me to ingest poisons to test new drugs and harvested my organs to check for transplant compatibility. Song Hee-ji's face instantly turned pale as she murmured, 10. Tortured for 10 years? Jio then told her the truth. Yes, because I have the heart of resurrection. It's an ability that lets my body recover, no matter how damaged it is. He then lowered his head in embarrassment. That's why I ended up in this monstrous form. Hearing that, Song Hee-ji looked over at Jio. He was still staring at the ground. She then jumped to her feet and insisted, whatever, just come with me. Jio was dragged along, confused. Where are we going? Song Hee-ji assured him, it'll just take a minute. The sensation was absolutely sublime to him. A hand. It's a hand. Even though I look like this, a girl is still holding my hand, grabbing my hand so suddenly like this. Just then, his arm snapped right off. Song Hee-ji screamed in absolute panic. She turned back, flustered, and yelled, what do we do? Your arm. Jio let his arm stump hang and calmly reassured her, it's okay. It falls off from time to time. He casually reattached it, saying it just needed to be connected correctly to stick back on. Song Hee-ji held her head in her hands and sighed, thank goodness. Then he asked, so, where are you planning to take me? She stammered a little. A moment later, Jio looked a bit awkward, wearing new clothes. Holding several shopping bags, Song Hee-ji explained, your old clothes were too worn out, so I thought you'd attract too much attention. If you wear a wig and normal clothes, people will stare less. They're just cheap clothes, but they'll be good enough for now. Jio was overjoyed, exclaiming, no, I love them. He put on the jacket and expressed, it's so warm it feels like it's a part of me, warming me to my very bones. Clothes like these are the best. Then Song Hee-ji stepped forward again. Wait a second, we're not done yet. He nervously stepped back. She explained cheerfully, your face is still too conspicuous, and since you don't have ears, you can't wear a mask. I'll use makeup to cover it up a bit. A while later, Song Hee-ji finished Jio's face. She held her head in her hands, defeated. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is my first time doing makeup on a skeleton, so it doesn't look very good. Jio, flustered, bowed his head. No, it looks great. This only made her feel guiltier, and I don't even have a mirror to show you. But at least those dangerous people won't recognize you now. After a moment, Song Hee-ji didn't hear Jio say anything, so she peeked at him. Then she suddenly gasped and shouted, I'm late. Shoot, I have to get to my tutoring session. She rushed off saying, it was really nice meeting you. I'm leaving now. Jio, bewildered, replied, okay. Song Hee-ji even added gently, take care of the dogs, okay? Watching her leave, he said her name to himself, Song Hee-ji. After lying down to rest, Jio realized, take care of the dogs. Does that mean she's coming back tomorrow? At the lab, they treated me like an animal. Everyone I met ran away when they saw my face. She's the first person to treat me like a human. He happily cuddled the puppy next to him. It's all thanks to you. If I hadn't seen you and left this place, I never would have met Song Hee-ji. Thank you. The puppy joyfully licked Jio's face. So he asked, what should I name you? How about Potato? Is Potato okay? Potato barked a few times in agreement, which made him realize, you like it, huh? Then Jio looked up at the sky and mumbled, Potato. That Subway sandwich was so good, and Song Hee-ji even brought me clothes and talked to me. She's truly an angel. I can't wait for tomorrow. If I stay here, I'll get to see Song Hee-ji again, right? At that thought, Jio shot up. He realized with horror, what the hell did I just say? I'm being chased. Am I really going to put Song Hee-ji, my savior, in danger? And so, Jio quickly turned and ran. Leaving is the right thing to do. I have to go to the place where I belong. Night had fallen, but Jio kept moving forward. The next morning, in a drainage pipe, Jio groggily woke up. He was lying next to a pile of garbage, with a jacket covering his face. Suddenly, Jio shot up, screaming in fear. What was that? A rat? He realized with confusion. Did I pass out while walking? I can't just sleep in a random place like this. Then Jio quietly told himself. He felt pleased with his foresight. I knew this would happen, so I brought some dog food with me. I'll just nibble on this and think about that Subway sandwich. If I eat it while imagining, it'll taste similar. The green kibble is the vegetables, the yellow is the bread, and the brown is the meat. See? It tastes just like a Subway. Suddenly, he heard a noise. Potato had arrived and snatched all the kibble from his hand. Kim Jio yelled in confusion. My Subway! He cried out in anguish. Potato, why did you eat my food? But just then, Jio froze. Huh? He had a dawning, confused realization. Wait. Potato? Jio asked, bewildered. How did you get here? Don't tell me. If Potato is here. Immediately after, he heard Song Hee-ji's voice. He was still lost in his own thoughts. Because I'm so happy I feel like I'm about to burst. She walked up to him and chided. You can't just leave without saying anything like that. I almost couldn't find you. Song Hee-ji continued to complain to Jio. I looked for you all day. I only managed to find you because the dogs remembered your scent. She shot him a sidelong glance. I had to wander around for a very long time. Jio could only lower his head and mumble, I'm sorry. Song Hee-ji reminded him with concern. You're the one who said it was dangerous to wander around in your condition. He expressed nervously. If we're together, I'm afraid I'll be a burden. Song Hee-ji didn't seem to mind and smiled. But I'm still glad I found you. This little guy was worried about you. 2. Potato ran over and licked Jio's cheek. He was moved, calling out, Potato. Right after, Hee-ji placed a variety of foods on the ground and said, Here, eat up. She kept rummaging through her bag, explaining, Yesterday, you only had that one Subway sandwich and nothing else proper to eat. I bought a few things from the convenience store. Then, Song Hee-ji took a carton of fresh milk, poured it into a box of cookies, and offered, Try this. Jio couldn't help but shout in astonishment. Huh? What is this? Cookies soaked in milk? She smiled reassuringly. It's really delicious this way. Looking at the box of cookies swimming in milk, Jio was a little skeptical. What in the world? The food I had yesterday was incredible. But he scooped a spoonful into his mouth, wondering, what will this taste like? Immediately after, the explosion of flavor in his mouth moved Kim Jio to tears. It's so good, it's making me cry. This is amazing, he yelled out. It's so delicious, my brain feels like it's melting. Miss Song Hee-ji, you have to try it too. Seeing this, Song Hee-ji covered her mouth and laughed happily. Your expression is hilarious. Okay, try the Coke, too. Just then, the bone in Jio's hand began to grow back. He exclaimed happily, My bone is regenerating. Song Hee-ji gasped in amazement. Really? Where? She focused on the small piece of bone that was forming, wondering, does it normally recover little by little like this? Doesn't it take a few days to heal completely? Jio quickly denied it. Oh no, not at all, he stated casually. It would actually take a few years. This made Song Hee-ji exclaim in utter shock. What? A few years? Kim Jio replied blankly. Well, because I need to eat. She still didn't quite understand. You need to eat? Is there no other way? He answered silently in his mind. I just need to absorb a large amount of blood, but that would scare her. There's no need to mention it. So Jio replied, that method is only possible in the lab. For now, just eating is more than enough. Song Hee-ji continued to probe. The lab can make you recover? Jio answered casually. Yeah, because they need to run experiments on me. He looked down and mumbled, that's why they're so relentlessly chasing me, no matter where I hide. Song Hee-ji realized with concern, don't tell me that's why you left without a word. Jio had to admit, yes. If you get involved with me, you'll be in danger too, Miss Hee-ji. So, you don't have to be nice to me anymore. At that, Song Hee-ji quickly shouted, let's go to the police station. Jio grew even more dejected and mumbled, even if I go to the police, they'll just see me as a monster and shoot me. But she still tried to reassure him, don't worry. Actually, my older sister is a police officer. Song Hee-ji revealed her secret to convince him, and she's a mutant, just like you. Kim Jio exclaimed in utter shock, your sister, she has a mutated heart too? She simply confirmed it again. Yes, but he was still extremely hesitant. Understanding this, Song Hee-ji sat down and, with a bright smile, tried to persuade him, just trust me this one time. My sister's a really good person. This made Jio pause. He crouched down beside the pack of dogs and murmured, I'm heading out early today, so you guys have fun, all right? Make sure to be good. The rescue team will be in touch soon. Potato sat there, looking happy. After Song Hee-ji left, Jio sat down and lovingly petted the dog's head. You helped me out again, didn't you? Thanks, buddy. With that, he steeled his resolve. I'm not going to run away like a coward anymore. I'll come back and see you later. Jio then went after Song Hee-ji. This was the first time in 3 years on the run that someone had finally reached out to help him. It felt so strange to be helped like this. Could I actually live without constantly running? Just as he thought he might finally be free, Jio saw a car racing toward them. Hee-ji was also stunned by the sudden turn of events. The car slammed right into Jio, sending him flying. He was thrown backward, his head cracking against the pavement. Song Hee-ji screamed in terror, "Jio!" But a bald-headed man lunged out, grabbed her, and yelled, "Grab him before anyone sees!" A group of armed men piled out of several black cars. They rushed over to seize Jio. A cigarette was lit. A thug stepped forward menacingly and sneered, "We finally found you, you pile of garbage bones." He ordered his lackeys, "Take him. You're gonna pay for all the trouble you've caused." And just like that, the black cars began to roll out. Jio was tied to a rope and dragged along behind the car. He was mercilessly scraped across the pavement, screaming in agony the entire time. A sense of helplessness washed over Jio as he cursed himself. Damn it, damn it. He tried to dig his fingers into the road, thinking he had to stop them. He blamed himself. "This is all my fault. All my fault. Even Song Hee-ji got dragged into this because of me." His fingernails were ripped from their beds, leaving long, bloody streaks on the pavement. Yet, Jio was still being dragged along by the car. He gritted his teeth in rage, cursing to himself, "This useless power. I can't do a damn thing. Somebody, please, help." And right at that moment, the dogs appeared. They all chased after the car, biting and tearing at the rope around Jio's neck. He was completely stunned. "You guys." The sheer force of the dogs managed to stop him from being dragged any further. The rope snapped in two. The cars quickly realized what happened and screeched to a halt. They immediately turned back as the dogs began to bark relentlessly. The enraged thugs stormed out of their cars. "What the hell is this?" They advanced on Jio in a line, the leader with a bat over his shoulder shouting, "Do these damn dogs have a death wish or something?" But the dogs weren't scared and kept barking ferociously. Jio began to feel powerless. No. The thugs raised their bats and began to beat the dogs, shouting, "Where do you think you're going?" Seeing this, Jio struggled to his feet, telling himself, "I have to get up. The dogs are fighting for me. I have to do something. They're getting hurt." Just then, Potato leaped up and sank its teeth deep into a thug's thigh. Shaking, Jio had a realization. That's right, the blood. He told himself he had to absorb the blood spraying from those bastards. "It's not much, but I might be able to recover a little bit." Kim Jio willed himself forward. "Move, please, just get to that blood." The thug screamed in agony as fresh blood sprayed everywhere, and the dog was knocked away. Jio pleaded in agony, "I just need to recover a little more." But by the time he managed to crawl forward, Potato had already collapsed in a pool of its own blood. Jio froze, completely devastated. A silent scream escaped him. Potato. The other dogs had also gone limp. Not a single one showed any sign of life. Jio's gaze swept over them as he called out each of their names. Kong, Kim Jio, Eluk, Oang Hoang. His eyes widened in pure anguish. 10 years. Painful memories flooded his mind. "I suffered in that lab for 10 agonizing years. Every time I opened my eyes, it was just another cycle of torture. Every single day was blood injections, torturous organ filtering. The same thing, over and over. I couldn't even die when I wanted to. I escaped. I was lucky enough to get out of that laboratory. I thought I'd finally be happy once I escaped. But contrary to what I'd hoped, the people on the outside despised me. They all saw me as a monster. But deep in his chest, his crimson heart was still beating. Jio felt he had only stayed alive, thanks to the dogs. And to Song Hee-ji. They treated me like a human being." Kim Jio tensed his body and shot up, drawing all the surrounding blood towards him. The crimson flood began to slowly restore his body, rushing into him from all directions. The blood formed a vortex, swirling around his body. Jio's feet regenerated, his arms became whole, and his hands began to reform as they once were. When the vortex of blood finally dissipated, a complete human body stood in its place. Jio's face was human again, his body fully recovered. He was utterly astonished by the sight and gasped, "My body. It's back." He stared at his own hands, feeling the same powerful pulse of blood he remembered from his childhood, back when he could effortlessly spin a car tire. Jio's eyes shot wide open as the truth dawned on him. It wasn't just the thug's blood. He had absorbed the blood of the dogs as well. The thugs began to panic. "What's happening to that guy? His body completely healed. Boss, what do we do?" The boss charged at Jio from behind and gave his order. "What do you mean? What do we do? Take him down. All we have to do is capture him." But before the thug could even finish, he was met with Jio's fist. Jio had swung his arm instinctively, and the collision stopped the car in front of him. The thug's head was now embedded in the side of the car. In agony, Kim Jio cradled Potato in his arms, collapsing beside the dog's body in sorrow. Kim Jio lowered his head, muttering grimly, "I know the most painful way to die." Then, he raised his voice and commanded, "The first one to answer my question will be spared." This left the remaining thugs completely frozen. His eyes became clouded with fury as he demanded, "Song Hee-ji, where did you bastards take her?" The sky was growing dark. At an abandoned factory complex, the empty lot out front was filled with cars. Meanwhile, inside, A figure was struggling to remove a sack from her head. The moment she got it off, Song Hee-ji looked up at her captors. "Who are you people?" Her eyes were a mix of confusion and alarm. Before her stood a group of brutish men. Her expression darkened as she tried her best to keep the panic from her voice. Where is this? Not far from her was a gruesome scene, a human corpse. Suddenly, a hand violently grabbed Song Hee-ji's hair. "This bitch is loud, isn't she?" Ignoring her pained gasp, the thug yanked her hair even harder. "You got a death wish or something?" He then suddenly shoved a picture of Jio in her face. "If you want someone to blame, blame this bag of bones right here. You got dragged into this because you decided to help him." The thug threatened her with a cold glare, "So you'd better shut your mouth if you want to live." His eyes were filled with a cold-blooded glint, as he said, "Nobody would even notice if 1 or 2 people died out here." With each word, the color drained from her face. Suddenly, the phone in the thug's pocket began to ring. He stood up to answer it. "What?" he snapped. "Why are you calling instead of dragging his corpse here?" He listened for a moment before demanding, "Where is the bag of bones?" The thug asked again, confused. "Huh? What about the stray dogs?" He couldn't hide the shock in his voice. Kim Jio has turned human. At that, the thug finally lost his cool and barked out an order. "What the hell are you talking about? Make some damn sense. What did the dogs do?" Song Hee-ji overheard a few words, her anxiety spiking. "The dogs? What does he mean? Are the dogs coming to save me?" After a moment, he slowly put it together. "So, what you're saying is, you let Kim Jio get away." He roared with fury into the phone. "You useless piece of shit. Do you have any idea how much that brat is worth? How could you let him escape?" He furiously smashed the phone on the ground. "You stupid animals. If you don't catch him, you're all dead." Immediately after, he spun around and grabbed Song Hee-ji. You know where Kim Jio is, don't you? You better start talking if you know what's good for you." The thug kept screaming in her face. "Spit it out, you bitch. Do you have any fucking idea how much he's worth? That's my money." Song Hee-ji struggled to reply. I don't know." The thug played along. "Yeah, of course you don't know." Then his demeanor changed completely. "Let's see if you still don't know after I give you a few extra holes to breathe through." Staring at the weapon in front of her, Song Hee-ji trembled as she thought, "Jio told me he was being chased, but I was so stupid." An overwhelming fear washed over her. "What do I do?" Suddenly, a blur flashed past the two of them. It was one of the men, sent flying. The sudden event made everyone freeze. Just then, a figure appeared at the doorway. The thug glanced behind him, his eyes narrowing in suspicion at the sight of the man. "Who the hell is this?" Another thug stepped forward aggressively. "Hey, who are you? Judging by your clothes, you must be some homeless beggar." But before he could finish, he was seized. Pinned, his words came out in gasps. "You bastard. What kind of strength is this?" Kim Jio spoke each word coldly. "Because of you. You goddamn dogs." He calmly tightened his grip. Seeing this, the man's buddies rushed forward. "What are you waiting for? Get him." A punch landed squarely on the side of Jio's face. He calmly spat out a mouthful of blood. Immediately after, Jio returned the favor with a punch of his own. He even threw in an elbow strike for good measure. Then, another thug managed to grab Jio. "I've got you." Seeing their chance, another one rushed in with a knee, but his expression remained as calm as ever. Kim Jio effortlessly broke free of their hold. The leader and his underlings could only gape in disbelief. He addressed them with a grim look. Jio's eyes were now filled with killing intent. "You guys, you're from the lab, aren't you?" Song Hee-ji, watching all this, was silently astonished. "No way," she thought, confused by his current appearance. "Jio." The thug, on the other hand, was overjoyed. "Yeah, so what? He's the one. He's Kim Jio," the thug exclaimed, recalling something. "The smugglers told us we might not recognize him once he recovered. And I really didn't." The thug suddenly said something strange. "Thanks." Immediately after, he aimed a gun at Jio for walking right into their trap. The thug shouted an order to his men. "Bring out all the guns we got for this job." Just like that, each of them was holding a firearm. And yes, they were more than happy to start pumping him full of lead. "If we catch this guy, we'll make a fortune. Don't hesitate, fire." Jio didn't resist the assault at all. "Shoot him until he can't recover anymore." Shot after shot slammed into his body. "Don't stop, keep firing." Only one thought echoed in Jio's mind. "It hurts." He slowly took stock of his body. His flesh was being shredded. It wasn't just the surface. Jio could feel it clearly. His bones were shattering. He didn't even have the strength to breathe. His lungs were punctured. "I can't breathe." Song Hee-ji watched in helpless agony. "Stop it." After a while, Jio collapsed, and the men finally stopped. The son of a bitch is finally down. A tragic pool of deep red spread out around him. But then, his hand moved silently. His fingertips began to draw in the crimson liquid, his fist clenching as it was rapidly absorbed. A powerful, resounding beat echoed from his heart. A scar-faced man cried out in panic. Boss! The entire group was dumbfounded by the absurd sight. He's alive again. Even the leader couldn't keep his composure. He was getting up like a zombie. Before their very eyes, Jio's body was greedily absorbing the deep red liquid. The panicked screams snapped the men back to their senses. What are you gawking at? Do something. Shoot him. From the very first moment, he felt each bullet as it lodged itself in his body. A second bullet quickly followed. Then a barrage of others, all aimed straight at Jio's head. His eyes were cold and indifferent as he watched them fly toward him. They don't just pierce me, they blow my body apart and tear me to shreds. Jio silently registered the sensation in every single cell. Even so, my body keeps regenerating. And it doesn't hurt as much as I expected. Perhaps it was because, in his past, Jio had experienced this all before. He had endured continuous torture that went far beyond normal human limits. Those experiences had desensitized him. The experiments and torture had been far more painful than this. Back in the present, a straight punch flew toward the scar-faced man's head. Jio quickly knocked one of them out. His eyes blazed with power as he stared the man down. Jio declared bluntly, "Guns? I can eat those all day." One of the thugs couldn't help but scream. He sent him flying with one punch. Before he could finish his sentence, he was the next to get a beating. But Jio's punch effortlessly shattered the bone in his blocking arm. A surge of rage made it impossible for him to hold back. What's pissing me off so much is that those dogs protected me. Another thug was sent flying by Jio's fist. He unleashed his fury on every single one of them. Suddenly, that image flashed through Jio's mind. It only made him more aware of his own weakness. The truth is, I'm still too weak. Abruptly, the leader of the thugs let out a scream. "Stay back!" Though his words were a threat, his hands were shaking uncontrollably. "Don't come any closer, I'll shoot the girl." In response, a fist slammed into him. No way. The thug's face was now beaten to a bloody pulp. Jio's expression was pure rage, and he made a silent vow to himself. "I'll make sure we never have to meet again." With that, the thug was sent flying, crashing into a large jar. After a while, he came to his senses, only to find a figure looming over him. Only now did the man feel true fear, and he started to beg, "Spare me. I'll do whatever you want." But the only response was another attack being readied. It's too late. Without any mercy, Jio moved in to finish him. The thug could only cough up blood. But before he was done, Jio took aim at his face once more. Then came a scene of Jio relentlessly unleashing his anger on the guy, his strikes getting faster and faster. A moment later, the thug's face was swollen like a pig's head. Jio just watched him in silence. His hands were now gradually stained red. Jio gently lifted his hand from the thug's face. The scene around him was filled with the scattered bodies of downed thugs. The intensity of the fight still lingered around Jio. Seeing this, Hiji called out worriedly, "Jio." Hearing her voice, Jio slowly began to move. He quickly turned his feet towards Hiji. Jio slowly made his way over to her. But Hiji, terrified, stammered a question. "Are you really okay? You were shot so many times." Suddenly, Jio collapsed to his knees and hugged her. His eyes welled up with tears as he spoke in a choked voice. "Thank God. You're still alive." He trembled as he told Hiji, "The dogs that saved me, they're all dead." That was why Jio had been so worried about her. "I was afraid you'd die too, Hiji." Only now did he finally feel a sense of relief. "I'm so glad you're alive." But as Hiji listened to all this, her expression grew somber. "I didn't do anything." Her hand gently rested on Jio's back. Then Hiji sincerely hugged Jio back. "I'm the one who should be thanking you." In the midst of the chaos, the police suddenly stormed in. "Move it. Take the suspect away." The thug was completely subdued by the police. The remaining members of the gang couldn't escape the cordon either. The police carefully observed and collected evidence at the scene. This was a brawl caused by a gang's internal conflict. But are you saying all this damage was just from infighting? At the same time, Hiji and Jio were quietly listening in from outside the warehouse. Hiji thought with relief, "Looks like they've all been taken away by the police." Jio couldn't help but wonder, "Is it okay that we're not being investigated?" Hiji tried to act calm. "My sister said to just stay away for now. If the mutant team gets involved, things will get really complicated." She also tried to reassure Jio. "My sister said to leave it to her, so let's just go." With that, they both turned and headed deeper into the forest. A while later, something had happened that made Hiji sob uncontrollably, and even Jio was covering his face in anguish. He and Hiji knelt before the small dogs, who were lying motionless on the cold ground, his voice trembling slightly. "I'm so sorry, you guys." Kim Jio called out their names in pained helplessness. Badu, Siru, Dengu, Choco, Bon, Maru. Hiji's eyes were brimming with tears. She could do nothing but blame herself. "It's all my fault. The dogs ran after me to save me." Hiji gently pulled Potato into her arms, hugging him tightly as a final farewell. "I couldn't even take responsibility for them. I only gave them a little bit of warmth and food. It was just for a moment. And yet, they risked their lives to save me." Jio couldn't stand to watch Heiji torment herself. He bit down hard on his finger, so hard that blood flowed out continuously. It's not like that. It's not your fault, Heiji. The dogs died to give me their blood. Seeing Jio hurt himself, Heiji was both shocked and worried. What? What are you doing? Though the hope was incredibly faint, instead of continuing to torture himself, Jio decided to try an experiment. I can recover by absorbing blood. If my blood is special, could I revive the dogs, just like me? Blood streamed from his finger, but the thing that healed right then and there was the bite mark Jio had made himself. Seeing the wound heal in an instant made Jio even more frantic. He crazily bit down hard on his finger again. Damn it, why am I healing so fast? Blood poured like rain from his fingertip. Seeing Jio's state, Heiji was horrified. She ran over to stop him. Stop it. You'll just make the dogs sadder. Jio was even more confused by her words. Sadder? They died because of me. Won't they hate me? Though deeply saddened, Heiji tried to comfort Jio. Hate you for what? You know how much they loved you. Jio's voice dropped. I know. Heiji's words brought back a flood of beautiful memories of the dogs. They were usually very wary of people. But they really liked you. Kim Jio's sadness was plain to see. He mulled over Heiji's every word. Wary of people? She poured her heart out to him. That's right. They had scars from abuse all over their bodies. They must have had so many terrible memories of humans. Kim Jio gently caressed Potato's face. I had no idea. I just thought they were friendly. Heiji gently advised him. That's why, if you hurt yourself and keep blaming yourself, you'll make the dogs feel very sad. Kim Jio gently stroked the little dog's head and sat in thought for a long time, a look of deep sympathy in Heiji's eyes. The fact that they approached you without any hesitation, her words were like a mirror reflecting Jio's own soul. It means they sensed that you've been in a similar situation. Hearing this, the knots in Jio's heart began to untangle, one by one. Thank you. Suddenly, a faint bark came from somewhere, startling them both. Heiji was overjoyed to see the small puppy, Potato's child. I was so worried when I couldn't find you. I'm so glad you're alive. The puppy trotted over to Jio, to both their surprise. He couldn't hide his astonishment. Huh? The puppy sat obediently in front of Jio, wagging its little tail happily. Heiji asked curiously, Is it looking at you? Jio gently leaned down closer to the puppy. He asked tenderly, You don't hate me? Your friends and your mother, they died because of me. Contrary to Jio's reservations, the puppy licked his hand repeatedly, as if they had known each other for a long time. Jio instinctively lay down on the ground and hugged the puppy. Heiji immediately cut in. I think it likes you. Before Jio could even get used to it, the puppy fell asleep, leaving him stunned. It's asleep. It must be exhausted. Unlike Jio, Heiji seemed to be worrying about something else. What should we do? We can't just leave a newborn puppy like this. I knew it. Should we take it with us? Heiji looked at Jio's awkwardness around the puppy, which only made her more uncertain. But what about him? Those people from the lab? They aren't just your average criminals. Heiji couldn't decide this on her own, so she ran off to consult a relative. Wait here a second. I'm going to call my sister. Jio, still not quite understanding what was happening, just replied softly. Okay, Heiji asked anxiously. Sis, I handled it like you said. Where should we go now? While Heiji was busy talking, Jio just sat quietly, watching. After getting advice from her sister, Heiji returned. Oh, so that would be better? I get it. See you later. After agreeing on everything, the two decided to take the puppy with them and leave the forest. Night had fallen, and they stopped to rest at an apartment. Kim Jio slowly stepped inside. He thought to himself, a house. Seeing Kim Jio's hesitation, Heiji smiled warmly. Come on in, make yourself at home. Jio looked around the house, then carefully confirmed one more time. Can I really come inside? Someone as dangerous as me. Heiji flashed a cheerful smile, dispelling the awkward atmosphere. You risked your life to protect me. How could you possibly be dangerous? Suddenly, she remembered something. Oh, my sister said she wanted to meet you. Kim Jio was completely taken aback by this. Me? Song Heiji answered firmly. My sister's investigating a case. She said you might be able to help, since it's related to the lab that's after you. Song Heiji kept trying to convince Jio to come inside. It's fine, really. Just come in. Kim Jio stared at his reflection in the mirror for a long time. Was he deep in thought about something? Suddenly, he gripped the mirror tightly and shouted, much to Heiji's surprise. She ran over worriedly to see what was wrong. What's the matter? Jio happily boasted to Heiji. I have cheeks, a nose, I even have lips. In contrast to Jio's excitement, Heiji couldn't quite process what was going on. Huh? Jio cheered with joy. My face is back. Song Heiji herself was stunned. You didn't know? Jio confessed honestly. It's never healed properly since I was a kid, so I had no idea. Healing was slow at the lab, and every time they tried to speed it up, they would just experiment on me. Suddenly, Jio's voice dropped. He stared intently at his current appearance. So, this is what I look like. Song Hee-ji was so startled she broke out in a cold sweat. She chugged a bottle of water while panting. The more I hear you talk, the more shocked I get. But I've been noticing for a while now. She couldn't hide her curiosity. Now that you're fully healed, you don't look that old. How old are you? A rough guess is fine. The question clearly made Jio uncomfortable. He earnestly held up his hand and started counting on his fingers. My age? I haven't counted in a long time. His life flashed before his eyes as Jio began to narrate his story. I entered the lab when I was 7. I took the final comprehensive exam 7 times, and the seasons have changed 3 times since I escaped. So after a bit of mental math, he came to a conclusion. 17. The unexpected answer made Song Hee-ji choke on her water. She immediately questioned Jio. So, we're the same age? And you didn't say anything this whole time? Song Hee-ji got so close that Jio's ears turned bright red with embarrassment. He awkwardly scratched his head. I was just happy that you were treating me like a person. Jio's timid attitude made Song Hee-ji pause for a few seconds, unable to understand her own feelings. What is this? He sounds pitiful, but also kind of cute. To break the awkward atmosphere, Hee-ji quickly changed the subject. From now on, let's just call each other by our names. Jio agreed without hesitation. Song Hee-ji immediately reminded him, it's almost dinner time, so go take a shower. Jio obediently followed her instructions like a little puppy. A moment later, the puppy was devouring its own meal. It was so happy its tail wouldn't stop wagging. And it wasn't just the puppy. Jio was happily enjoying himself too. The food was so amazing he couldn't stop praising it. This is so delicious. Warm food is so delicious. Seeing Jio eat every last grain of rice, Song Hee-ji let out a sigh of relief. It's just rice with a soy sauce fried egg. Sorry, I'm not a very good cook, but I'm glad you like it. Kim Jio felt revived after filling his stomach with the bowl of hot rice. He couldn't hide how much he loved it. No, this is the best thing I've eaten in years. While Song Hee-ji was cleaning the dishes, she suddenly remembered something she hadn't told him. Oh, my sister just said something urgent came up, so she can't come home today. She's probably busy with work. Jio truly enjoyed the meal. All the food on the table had been completely cleared. After they finished eating their fill and cleaning up, Hee-ji arranged a place for Jio to sleep on the sofa. You can sleep here tonight, Jio stammered in reply. Here? Song Hee-ji was a little surprised to hear that. What's wrong? Is it not okay? Jio quickly suggested. No, that's not it. I can just sleep on the floor. Seeing Jio's awkwardness, Song Hee-ji couldn't help but chuckle. Why would you do that? Just take this blanket and sleep here. Jio took the blanket from Song Hee-ji gratefully. Thank you. Song Hee-ji turned off the light and went straight to her room. I have homework to do, so I'm heading to my room. You go ahead and sleep. Jio couldn't help but feel grateful. Oh, thank you. As soon as he finished speaking, Song Hee-ji closed the door firmly, leaving Jio standing stunned in the dark room. He slowly looked around at the furniture, marveling at his reflection in the TV in front of him. A TV can be this thin and this big? Everything in this world seemed so unfamiliar to Jio. They even keep flowers inside. It's so different from the lab. From the moment he sat on the sofa, he had to exclaim, this is so comfortable. A sofa can be this soft? It's even softer than the beds in the lab. Just then, the puppy was still gobbling something up in its food bowl. Suddenly, it ate something that made it choke. Seeing the puppy coughing repeatedly, Jio was terrified. He panicked, not knowing what to do. Finally, the puppy managed to spit it out. Seeing its condition, Jio's face went pale and he screamed, Puppy! He threw the blanket off, jumped up from the sofa, and ran towards the little dog. Suddenly, it went back to normal and started devouring its food as if nothing had happened, causing Jio to freeze. The puppy looked up intently, looking at him as if it didn't understand what had just happened. Seeing that it was still happy, Jio breathed a sigh of relief that it was okay. He placed the puppy next to him, his face unable to hide his happiness. Kim Jio rolled around on the incredibly comfortable sofa. It's warm and soft. This is amazing. Seeing him like this, the puppy also couldn't hide its excitement and started climbing all over him. It gently licked Jio's face to show its joy. He then asked, You like it too, huh? Jio looked at the puppy with an affectionate gaze. He thought for a moment, What should I name you? You're Potatoes, kid. Potato. Fries. Kim Jio gently stroked the little puppy's head. How about Freeze? Do you like that? The puppy seemed to like the name, wagging its tail excitedly. He decided to go with it. From now on, your name is Freeze. In the quiet room, Fries quickly fell asleep. Jio watched it intently, an unconscious smile spreading across his face. So warm. So this is what happiness is. He thought to himself about the delicious meal he'd had. Jio also recalled the indescribable feeling of soaking in warm water. Warm water, taking a bath in warm water. That feeling was pure happiness. He gently petted Freeze, feeling a quiet gratitude. And I get to sleep in a soft place like this too. But he wasn't immersed in this happy world for long. Jio himself pulled him back to reality. However, as someone who was always on the run, Jio knew better than anyone that these things could be taken away in an instant. In a daze, memories of his days at the lab suddenly surfaced. Run! Jio was leading a group of people, running for their lives. The exit is over there. Right behind them were the pursuers from the lab. They're all A-rank mutants or higher. They all raised their guns in unison, aiming straight at the fleeing group. Don't let them get away. The gunshots, with their immense destructive power, sent all those trying to escape flying. Jio still vividly remembered the feeling from back then, the pain, the helplessness, and the resignation to his cruel fate. For the rest of his life, he would probably never be able to forget how he felt on that fateful day. But it didn't stop there. One of the men aimed his gun barrel straight at the bodies lying sprawled on the ground. The gun was loaded. All it took was a pull of the trigger, and a relentless barrage of fire, like a tsunami, rushed toward the others. But something happened that the people from the lab could never have expected. The short-haired girl used ice to block the flames, hoping to buy just a little more time. Kim Jio was pinned by a boulder, but in his hazy state, he could still hear a voice calling, "Kim Jio, get up." A scratched-up hand suddenly reached out to him. A black-haired young man was using tree roots as a support, lifting the boulder with his bare hands to free Jio. He was straining with all his might. It seemed Jio understood. Even in that most desperate moment, the short-haired girl still reached her hand out to Jio. "Hurry and get out. The exit is right here." Without a second of doubt, Jio grabbed her hand and ran straight ahead. Yeah, remembering the past weighed heavily on his heart. The whole group had run as hard as they could after so much hardship. His eyes showed an endless torment. But in the end, they were all separated. That stream of thought made it impossible for Jio to fall asleep. Right now, they could be suffering somewhere. The scars of his past strengthened his resolve. "That's why I will absolutely not lose anything ever again." Kim Jio gently stroked Freeze, his decision firm. Even for this small moment of peace, red veins suddenly bulged on Jio's hand. More than ever, he could feel the powerful beats inside his chest. Jio made a promise to himself. If anyone threatened this small happiness, his eyes burned with a fire that was also strangely cold. He was more determined than ever. "I don't care who they are. I won't let them get away with it." Another day had passed. It was early morning, but Jio's frantic screams could already be heard. He was sprinting down the quiet street, completely out of breath. He ran headlong, anxiously calling, "Freeze!" Tears and snot streamed down Jio's face, terrified he'd lost Freeze. "Fries, where are you?" The reason Jio was in such a panic started a few hours earlier, when Song Hee-ji was getting ready to leave the house. "I'm off to school now." Her words left him stunned. "School." Song Hee-ji gently reassured Jio. "I'll be back tonight, so you watch the house, okay?" he asked in confusion. "Tonight?" Hee-ji nodded in confirmation. She said she was really busy with a lot of things. Jio didn't argue and just replied, "I get it. You should go to school." He was quite curious. School must be a lot of fun. Before she could even leave, Song Hee-ji had to stop. "I'm leaving now." She was very surprised to see Fries scratching at the door non-stop. "What's wrong, Fries?" Jio was also extremely confused. "What's gotten into Fries?" Song Hee-ji calmly observed him for a moment. "He doesn't look sick or anything. Maybe he's bored and wants to go out with me?" But Hee-ji couldn't take Freeze with her. "What should I do? I have to get to school now." Jio immediately made a suggestion. "Can I take him for a short walk?" Song Hee-ji replied, though she was quite worried. "That would be great, but what if those dangerous people show up again?" Jio confidently assured her. "It'll be fine. How would they recognize me looking like this?" Song Hee-ji hesitated for a moment, thinking it over, then agreed. "All right." Before officially leaving, she carefully reminded Jio, "If you're taking him for a walk, put a leash on him. There's one in the second drawer." "Okay, I'm late, so I'm heading out." Jio held Fries and said goodbye to Song Hee-ji. "See you later." The moment he put Fries down on the ground, the dog started yelping and rolling around restlessly. Jio could only hold the leash tightly and remind Fries, "You can't take the leash off." Seeing him struggle so fiercely made Jio start to worry. Is it really that uncomfortable? Seeing the dog even start to get angry, Jio wondered, did I tie it too tight? At that thought, his mood instantly sank. Did I hurt him? I used to be restrained with a cord like this too. The memory came flooding back, exactly as it was. The slightest movement would send an electric current coursing through, burning his entire body. Although he sympathized, Jio was very hesitant. But I don't have a choice. What if people don't like you running around off leash? He silently apologized to Fries, "Please forgive me." But after he finished the thought, all that was left on the ground was a single shoe. Kim Jio went crazy. He couldn't believe it. You know how to slip out of this? And that's why he was now frantically looking for his dog. Fries. Fries. He'd been given one job, and this happens. He was on the verge of tears as he ran around searching. "Fries, where are you?" Meanwhile, Fries was definitely off having a fun adventure. Kim Jio ran along the street, his eyes scanning every nook and cranny. Where are you, Fries? Answer me. He even opened the lid of a trash can. Are you in here? He peeked under a car. Or over here? Jio stuck his head right into a garbage pile to look for Freeze. Maybe this place? After a while, he was so flustered he was pulling at his hair. What do I do? How am I supposed to find Freeze? What if something happened? Jio had already imagined a ton of terrible scenarios. What if Freeze got hit by a car? Or hurt by a bad person? The thought brought him to tears again. I just promised last night I'd protect him. And it hasn't even been a full day. Just then, a series of sounds caught Jio's attention. Through the sports field over there, he could confirm someone was sitting there, wagging their ears. It was Fries. He was even sitting there comfortably, licking his fur. How could Jio not recognize Fries? Afraid he'd run off again, Jio broke into a sprint and dashed forward, calling Freeze's name. Did he follow Song Heeji's scent all the way here? Just then, the gym teacher glanced over. All he saw was a blur zip past him. Wait! He froze, wondering to himself, Lee was right. How can he be so fast? But Jio wasn't paying attention to anything else. All that was in his mind was, Freeze, wait for me. Inside, many students were playing together. One group was playing soccer. While on the field, small groups walked and chatted happily. The whole place was filled with sound. Jio hid behind a tree with a bewildered look on his face. Why is everyone so happy? So, this is what a school is like. Just then, he noticed a group of people nearby. They were discussing the news. I heard that all the mutants actually came from a lab. That's just a rumor. A video was playing on a phone. A 1 billion won reward for reporting any unregistered, wanted mutants. The dark truth behind mutant trafficking organizations. Hearing that number, the students couldn't help but be impressed. If we caught a mutant, we'd hit the jackpot. You got the guts to take on those gang members? So what? I can dream, can't I? Kim Jio understood somewhat. So, this is how the outside world views mutants. This made him seriously remind himself, I have to be careful. I need to find Fries and get him out of here. Kim Jio quickly spotted him. There you are, Fries. On a nearby phone screen, a dance challenge was playing along with the question, so, what do you think? Is it good? The female students around her immediately started flattering her. It's amazing. Min Jong, you're crazy. You're drop-dead gorgeous. Seriously, Min Jong is insanely pretty. I can't believe it. Min Jong was incredibly pleased with herself. But she didn't forget to offer a few obligatory compliments. What are you talking about? You two are pretty, too. Just then, one of the female students saw Fries. Oh my, what's this? A puppy? Min Jong excitedly scooped him up in her arms and exclaimed, "Aw, how adorable. Where did you come from? Where's your mommy?" She immediately pulled out her phone, snapped a picture, and posted it to her story. Get closer, so the dog shows up clearly. Before she could press it, a gloomy-looking person was added to the screen. Min Jong jumped and screamed. Who the hell is this guy? A stalker? Some pervert taking secret pictures? The other girls started cursing too. What a fucking creep. This reaction made Jio nervously peek out from behind a tree. Sorry. He told them cautiously. I didn't mean to scare you. You guys are holding Fries. The other two girls were already mesmerized by Jio. He's so cute and so handsome, right? They couldn't stop talking about him. This guy in the P.E. uniform must be a freshman. Who is he? I've never seen him before. Is he a new transfer student? Jio asked awkwardly. Excuse me, was I in your picture? Only then did they remember. Oh, we're shooting a TikTok. Wanna join? One of the girls pretended to chide her friend. Why would you ask a stranger? But then she immediately ignored her own advice. What's the problem? He's so handsome. You must be a freshman, right? Let's add each other. Seeing the girls being so aggressive, Jio grew even more flustered. No, I'm not allowed to be in pictures. Just then, a phone was held out with a demand. Give me your student's social ID. The owner of the phone was Min Jong, who had been quiet until now. I'll tag you. Seeing this, the other two girls huddled together and whispered, What's going on? I've never seen Min Jong ask for a guy's ID before. Well, he is handsome. They urged him on. Hurry up. Min Jong has over 100,000 followers. If she tags you, your follower count will skyrocket. Jio was completely clueless about this. Min Jong was extremely smug. He really is good looking. His shyness is cute too. Even his aloofness is fine. Jio hesitated, not knowing what to say. But she was certain he would give it to her, thinking, he's just pretending to be hesitant. He'll give it to me eventually. But the words that came out of his mouth made the girls freeze on the spot. I don't have one of those. Min Jong's face went blank, and her hand tightened around her phone. Faced with their astonishment, Jio bowed deeply. I'm sorry. I really appreciate the offer, but I have to decline. I mean it. The other girls didn't see it that way. They whispered to each other, Damn, did Min Jong just get rejected? Normally, guys would at least give her their Insta. He shut her down completely. Min Jong's face twisted with anger. Is this motherfucker trying to make things difficult? Despite the humiliation, she tried to save face. How ridiculous. I just wanted to tag you. Who are you taking? Before Minjong could finish, Jio quickly scooped up Freeze. This is my dog. I'll take him back now. Seeing him fuss so much over the dog made Minjong even angrier. Fries. I'm sorry. I won't lose you again. Besides her, there was someone else who was also fuming. Taegu glared at them, annoyed. Who's that guy? The boys playing ball stopped and asked. Hey Taegu, isn't that your crush over there? They added fuel to the fire. That dude brought a dog to hit on Minjong. I've been watching this whole time. You don't know who that is either? He must be a new transfer. Looks like he's in our year. Taegu's face turned red with fury. Is that bastard hitting on Minjong right in front of me? He snatched the ball from the person next to him. Give me the ball. His friend was confused, not understanding what was happening. The ball? As soon as he saw Taegu get into a kicking stance, he realized what was about to happen. Whoa, hold on. Last time you did that, you kicked the ball and broke a guy's nose. Taegu ignored him and kicked it anyway. That wasn't my fault. The ball shot forward with incredible speed. By the time it was right in front of Jio, he finally noticed it. But Jio couldn't react in time. In a split second, the ball was inches from his face, and his whole body tilted back. He took the full force of the ball right to his face. The nearest girl asked with concern. Are you okay? The moment they saw something dripping down, they screamed in panic. Blood! Are you okay? Taegu approached, feigning innocence. Sorry, my foot slipped. Minjong complained irritably. Damn it, that almost hit me. He quickly laughed it off. Sorry, it was an accident. Minjong worriedly asked Jio. Are you okay? Does it hurt? Just then, a deep voice rang out, causing Taegu to look over carefully. Jio coldly warned him. My dog was almost hurt. Apologize. Hearing this, Taegu grinned so wide his eyes disappeared. Look at you, bleeding from both nostrils. Suddenly, he realized his mistake and covered his face. Minjong is watching, you idiot. Taegu put on a remorseful act again. Oh really? Looks like it hit you in the face. Last time I accidentally broke another kid's nose. You should probably head to the nurse's office. Kim Jio held his dog tightly, his expression towards them anything but friendly. I'm fine, but Freeze was almost hurt. Be more careful next time. Taegu didn't listen to a word, just scoffed, bleeding from his nose and still trying to act tough. He mumbled an apology to get it over with. Sorry, the dog is very precious. Jio smiled back and replied, I accept your apology. I'm really okay. After that, he didn't linger and left the school grounds. I'm leaving now. Let's go home, Fries. Taegu's friend had approached at some point. He couldn't help but remark, he's tougher than I thought. Go easy on him. Taegu immediately snapped at him to shut up. Before they dispersed, he gave his friend a dark order. Find out what class that bastard is in for me. I don't like his attitude. Meanwhile, Jio was already cheerful again. He walked along, sighing in relief. I almost lost Freeze. A new feeling started to bloom inside Jio. Thanks to Freeze, I'm learning what school is like, and I even got to meet kids my own age. As he thought this, the corners of Jio's mouth curled up even more. This is so fun. If I went to school, would I have a lot of friends? Just then, someone called out from behind him. Hey friend. Taegu came closer and slung an arm around his shoulder like they were old pals. Hey, sorry about earlier. Jio was taken aback by the word friend. Taegu casually confirmed, we're in the same grade, so that makes us friends, right? He then suddenly suggested, you took a ball to the face, so just saying sorry feels a little cheap. Let me treat you to some snacks. At the mention of snacks, Jio started drooling. He asked Taegu doubtfully, are you really going to buy me snacks? Taegu affirmed with absolute certainty. Of course, the snacks here are amazing. Kim Jio patted Fries' head and asked Taegu, is there anything Fries can eat? He immediately replied, of course, I'll buy you whatever you want. Taegu made a sweet promise. I was just trying to show off in front of a girl earlier. You must be hungry. I'll get you lots of snacks. Before he could even process it, the sole of a shoe was raised high. The kick sent Jio stumbling forward. As he scrambled back to his feet, someone mocked him. You actually followed him. Jio's eyes darkened with every word. Did you really follow him just because he offered you some snacks? In front of him was a group of malicious-looking guys. This guy must be an idiot. Let me fill your stomach for you. Taegu had lured Jio to a place full of delinquents, and they were deliberately taunting him. We've got plenty of knuckle sandwiches for you. Taegu's gang surrounded him, and Taegu aggressively raised his hand and yelled, Tsk, this fucking loser. He held Fries in his arms without saying a word. Taegu frowned, his voice laced with annoyance and challenge. You looking for a fight? Who do you think you are? Acting so tough. Jio calmly replied. Tough? What do you mean? As soon as he heard that, Taegu roared, how dare you hit on Minjong? He pointed a finger straight at Jio, shouting angrily, one punch is all it'll take to have you crying on the ground. So quit the act. You want me to beat you, don't you? Seeing the man point at him, Fries barked relentlessly. One of Taegu's lackeys laughed out loud, teasing, Looks like he's scared stiff. Take it easy, Taegu added with amusement. Don't hit him. A skinny guy like that might break a leg. Can't believe he brought a dog to school just to show off. Taegu continued his aggressive posturing, raising his fist to punch him. Son of a bitch, you're dead. Kim Jio held his head in his hands, exasperated. Damn it, I thought I was called out here to make friends, but it turns out you were just looking for a fight. He turned away sadly and said, Sorry, I must have bothered you. I'll be going now. The guy suddenly spoke up. Huh? Suddenly, Jun's crew blocked his way, smiling. Where do you think you're going? The guy behind him taunted. For real, you acted so natural I almost let you go. Jio frowned in annoyance and ordered, Get out of my way, you're scaring Fries. Fries, in his arms, also stuck his tongue out defiantly. The moment he finished speaking, the guy lunged at Jio and swiped a hand at his face. You're no different from this dog, barking at me. But before he could even touch Jio, he was sent flying backward, blood streaming from his nose. The whole group froze, staring in disbelief at Jun, convulsing on the ground. What the heck? How is Jun already on the ground? Taigu's jaw dropped and his face went pale. What the hell? Am I seeing things? He just swung his arm and Jun went flying. At that moment, the entire group rushed forward to attack Jio, all at once. You bastard, what did you just do? They shouted. You just punched Jun. He gave them a cold stare, his eyes narrowing slightly as a flash of light suddenly sparked in his heart. With just one punch, he had beaten the entire group to a pulp. Taegu backed away in fear. Jio sped up to punch him, and tears started streaming down Taigu's face. He reflexively threw his hands up. Jio's fist stopped inches from his face, and then he unleashed a punch toward Taegu with world-shaking force. But at the last second, he decided to punch the wall instead, leaving the boy trembling in fear. He glared and warned, I told you to stop. You're scaring Fries. Fries smiled with satisfaction as the terrified group cried out. Then they all ran off, leaving Taegu behind. He's crazy. He's a monster. He looked up at the hole in the wall and thought to himself, no freaking way. Did he just punch a hole through the wall? Taegu collapsed to the ground, muttering, I'm so dead. One hit from that, and my bones would have turned to dust. Tears and snot ran down Taigu's face as he slowly realized he'd picked a fight with the wrong person. He immediately bowed his head and begged, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Taegu looked up, held out his phone, showing a picture of Poppy, and claimed that the other guys were the ones who wanted to hurt the puppy. I never intended to hurt him. I never even thought about it. I swear. See? I have a dog at home too. Her name is Poppy. Isn't she cute? Kim Jio was surprised and thought, he really does have a dog. Could he actually be a good person? Frieza's eyes lit up when he saw the dog on the phone. He continued to plead. Please, just let me go this one time. An awkward silence fell between them. Then, he looked at Fries and said, using all that energy made me hungry. Come to think of it, I haven't eaten anything today. Taegu was stunned, thinking, why is he bringing this up now? He looked at Jio's blank expression and guessed, this has to be it. This bastard is pretending to spare me just to get free food out of me. What a sly fox. The scene changes to Song Heji, who is studying in class. In the cafeteria, Taegu bought a mountain of food and placed it on the table for Jio. His and Fries' eyes widened. Jio said, thanks, I'll enjoy this. You eat too, Fries. Jio ate with gusto. The boy watched him, confused. Kim Jio looked over at Fries and asked, this is delicious, isn't it? There are strawberries in this pastry. Fries wagged his tail happily, while Taegu gritted his teeth in frustration. What's with this guy? He's insanely strong, but now he's acting like a total moron. I don't get it. He remembered the fight, thinking, that punch sent those guys flying through the air. Is he a former athlete? Or a professional boxer? Taigu's face grew serious as he reasoned. But even if he were a former athlete, could he really throw someone into a wall hard enough to break it? I've never seen anything like it. He made up his mind. Time to call in some special measures. Jio was still enthusiastically talking to Fries. Try this one too. It just melts in your mouth. Meanwhile, the boy walked over to a corner and made a phone call. Boss Yang Chun. Hello, it's Taegu. How have you been? The man, sitting in a gambling den, replied with a sinister smile. Taegu, long time no see. What's up? This was Yang Chun, 20 years old. He whispered into the phone. Boss, can I ask you for a favor? I'm in some trouble. Yang Chun frowned and replied. What? Did some punk beat you up? Are you kidding me? Why are you calling me because you got your ass kicked? You think I have nothing better to do? The boy pleaded into the phone. But this guy is a real monster. This is the first and last time I'll ever ask you for anything. Please, please just help me save face this one time. A few lackeys behind him called out. What's up? Who's on the phone? Yang Chun replied with a smile. It's that high school kid, Taegu. The idiot got his butt handed to him and wants help. Then a goon in the back spoke up. Damn, what a loser. Who could he even fight? I'm bored. Tell him I'll swing by in a bit. The man covered his face and said, what a pain. Yang Chun agreed. I'm near your school today anyway. Bring him out. The boy responded in surprise. Yes. Thank you so much, boss. Taigu glanced over at Jio with a smug smile, thinking, new kid, you're so dead. Suddenly, Jio held out a bag of pastries to him. Want some? Taigu froze on the spot. Jio continued. It's kind of sad eating all this by myself. Then, the boy gave an awkward laugh and held up a few sausages, saying, no, you go ahead and finish it all. Have these and this drink too. Jio's face lit up as he replied, really? Thanks. Taigu watched him feed fries, thinking with bewilderment, how can a guy like this be so strong? Taigu's attention was drawn to Kim Jio's hand as he fed fries. Kim Jio's hand was unusually pristine, which made him wonder, wait, he must have hurt his hand when he punched the wall, so why does it look completely fine now? Taigu frowned in confusion. Wait a minute. Superhuman strength that can send people flying, and injuries that heal instantly. He recalled a show he had seen before. Depending on the nature of their heart, they can use various different powers. But they only make up 0.001% of the population, so it's extremely rare to ever meet one in person. Taigu thought to himself, it can't be. He asked him directly, are you a heart aberrant? Hearing this, Kim Jio suddenly spat a mouthful of water all over Freeze and stammered, no, I'm not. Taigu realized immediately, holy crap, it's so obvious. He covered his mouth, trying to hide his look of disbelief. A heart aberrant. This is the first time I've ever seen one with my own eyes. He looks just like a normal person. Then, Taigu glanced to the side and told himself, wait, but if he's a heart aberrant, isn't that incredibly dangerous? Taigu realized that if his backup came empty-handed, they would just get their butts kicked too. He then called Yang Chun back. The man slammed the table and yelled, a heart aberrant? Yang Chun repeated emphatically, you're saying he's a heart aberrant? Hearing this, his cronies all turned to look at Yang Chun. Taigu whispered into the phone, yes, he's a heart aberrant. I didn't know he was this powerful. It's too dangerous. Maybe we should just forget about teaching him a lesson. But the man replied bluntly, no, this is even better. We'll handle it. You keep him there. Don't let him go anywhere. He obediently agreed. Yes, sir, I understand. Suddenly, Jio stood up and announced, I'm done eating. I'm leaving now. The boy hesitated and said, you're leaving already? Lunch break isn't over yet. He smiled and replied, I'm going home. Taigu bit his lip in frustration, thinking he had to stall him until they arrived. On top of that, the weather was beautiful today. Suddenly, he got an idea. Hey, how about we skip class and hang out for a bit? He was confused. After skipping class, the two of them went to an arcade. Jio was ecstatic when he saw the game machines. So shiny. What is this place? He exclaimed in amazement. It was his first time at an arcade. He smiled shyly and answered honestly, I didn't even know a place like this existed. Kim Jio walked around, praising everything. Everything is so new. This is awesome. Kim Jio pressed his face against the claw machine, delighted to recognize the stuffed animal on Song Heeji's bag. Taigu asked in disbelief, you've never seen a claw machine before? He thought to himself, what kind of life has this guy lived? Taigu suddenly walked over and showed him, here, put the money in here and give it a try. Jio stuttered in surprise. Huh? Me? He suddenly yelled. Out of my way! Taigu focused on teaching him how to use the claw machine. Just use the joystick to pick it up. Seeing the prize slowly rise, Jio's eyes widened in admiration. The claw is moving. Then, the stuffed animal was successfully won. He picked it up and laughed with joy. Now I have a stuffed animal just like Song Heeji. Taigu scoffed when he heard that. Jio praised again. This is so fun. So this is what an arcade is like. Taigu let out a sinister laugh in response. He thought to himself, nice. He's hooked. I'll just stall for time here until they arrive. This time, Taigu pointed to a karaoke booth and said, wait, have you ever tried a coin-operated karaoke before? He mumbled, karaoke. Coin. Taigu smiled and explained, it's a place where you sing. What song do you like? I'll pick one for you. Jio scratched his head and laughed awkwardly. A song? I don't know any. Taigu yelled, anything is fine. You don't have to be good when you're singing with friends, he slowly replied. And so, a children's song began to play. Jio screamed at the top of his lungs, holding Mommy's hand on a picnic. Sweet cotton candy. Taigu exploded in anger. Who sings a nursery rhyme at karaoke? How long are you going to keep acting so weird? Kim Jio's eyes widened in surprise. Am I not allowed to sing this song? It's the only one I know. He put the mic down and confessed sadly. My mom taught me this song before I was separated from my family when I was 7. My life hasn't been normal, so I don't know any other songs. Hearing this, Taigu felt a pang of sympathy and thought to himself, separated from his family at 7. A life that wasn't normal. He froze, wondering, what's with this guy? Are all mutant hearts like this? Suddenly, Taegu burst into tears, sobbing, "Oh, Mom, now I'm getting emotional too." He took some money out of his pocket and said in a big brotherly tone, "You didn't get to live a normal life? Then you should live an extraordinary one. Follow me. I'll open up a whole new world for you." Kim Jio looked at him, confused. The two of them played countless games, starting with the drum game. Taegu commanded, "Hit it harder." Next was the fighting game. He instructed in a bossy tone. "Stop using those cheap moves." Jio retorted, "Isn't that how you're supposed to play?" Taegu replied bluntly, "That's not it." The next game was a rhythm game. Jio was terrible at this game and was ridiculed by him. Taegu remarked honestly, "You're really bad at this, huh?" Jio scratched his head and admitted, "It's really hard." The sky was beautiful and clear. The two left the arcade, and Taegu said breathlessly, "We completely lost track of time playing." Jio held his prize and smiled happily. Jio handed him a drink and praised, "The arcade is really fun. I've never had so much fun before." Taegu replied proudly, "Right? I told you it'd be fun." Suddenly, a phone rang. Taegu laughed to himself. "Look at this. Who'd be calling me at this hour?" As soon as he picked up, a voice cursing him echoed through the street. "You son of a bitch. You should have answered sooner." The smile on his face slowly vanished, replaced by an expression of pure terror. "That's right, Young Chun. I was supposed to keep him busy so the boss could teach him a lesson, right? I completely forgot, because I was having too much fun." Taegu looked at the photo of the two of them together, confused. "I even forgot we took a picture together. Am I an idiot?" He looked closely at the photo again. The two of them were laughing together, which made Taegu fall into deep thought, as if contemplating something. Taegu glanced at Kim Jio amidst the bustling crowd. The scene was strangely peaceful. Then, he went to Yang Chun's gang. They asked, "So?" Then, Taegu bowed deeply in apology. "I'm sorry, boss. Turns out that guy isn't a mutant heart." The gang got angry, and they all closed in on Taegu, demanding an explanation. "Are you messing with me?" He apologized repeatedly. "I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry." Fear was clear in Taegu's eyes, but he still thought about him. "I get it now. He hasn't done anything wrong." He recalled the time at the arcade when he asked Jio, "Is your puppy your only family?" Jio's face showed clear loneliness and sorrow. Taegu covered his own vulnerable face and confessed, "Damn, that's heartbreaking." Then, crying, Taegu took out a picture of his own dog, Poppy, to share. "I totally get it. My Poppy is 17 years old already, and I don't know when she'll pass away." The two of them sat on a bench, comforting each other. Taegu sadly admitted, "Just thinking about her dying makes me want to cry. The truth is, I almost beat up my friends for trying to tease her." Jio replied, "Oh man, it's okay now." Back in reality, Taegu told himself, "Right, I'm not doing this for him. I'm doing it for the puppy. If something happens to him, what will happen to his dog?" Just as he finished that thought, Yang Chun threw a punch right in front of his face, making his eyes widen in shock. Then, he punched Taegu so hard, it looked like he was trying to split his head in two. He screamed in pain. Then, Taegu collapsed to the ground, his body trembling in fear, but his eyes held a strange determination. Yang Chun grabbed him by the hair and lifted his head. "Taegu!" Yang Chun leaned in close to his face and asked, "You think I like to joke around? I asked you, where's the mutant?" Taegu's face was swollen and covered in wounds as he was held by the hair in terror. Yang Chun pressed his menacing face close to him. "You think I'm kidding? Where's the mutant heart?" Kim Jio was gritting his teeth, completely focused on a game machine. A few arrogant-looking thugs were holding weapons. "Hey, you son of a bitch." And there were others who were more discreet, wearing masks and face coverings. "Are you deaf?" Yang Chun grabbed Taegu's head and threatened him arrogantly. "Can't you see we gathered this whole crew just to catch that guy?" Taegu pressed his palms together, rubbing them and begging repeatedly, "Boss, I was with him all day today. If he were a mutant heart, I would have definitely felt some kind of bloodlust, but there was absolutely nothing." He then pointed and burst out laughing at how foolish Jio looked. "That guy's just a regular loser." He even got exhausted and collapsed after just 2 rounds of the dance game at the arcade. At first, I thought he was strong, but that was only because the guys he beat were so weak. Taegu looked up with a confident face and insisted, "He is, without a doubt, a complete idiot. I'm sorry for making you all come here for nothing." One of Yang Chun's cheeks started twitching, looking very unpleasant. He scratched his head in frustration. "So, you're saying no one's here?" Taegu answered timidly. "Yeah, that's right." The man shifted his weight to his other shoulder while holding a cigarette in his mouth. "Taegu, are you just pissed off because I yelled at you and roughed you up?" Yang Chun casually lit his cigarette, having already seen right through him. "Listen up, you little brat. I can tell you're lying just by looking at your face." He flashed a sly grin to persuade Taegu to spill the beans. "Why the sudden change of heart, huh?" The boy's eyes were so full of fear that he just kept staring at the ground. "Are you having second thoughts now? Think that guy is too scary? I already told you he's not human. You know damn well how dangerous this world is. It's because of mutants that I have to do this, so my boys and I can handle everything quietly," Young-chun said, spreading his palm and smiling with narrowed eyes to show his goodwill. "Don't tell me you're actually worried about your boss? That we would lose? Oh damn, you're hilarious." Taigu's face darkened, but he remained stubborn. "No, I'm serious." The man's giant hand showed 5 fingers. "Ah, hell, 500. Yang-chun made an offer, his face full of anticipation. "I'll be a little generous. If you hand over that mutant heart, I'll give you 500. How about it? The boss is being a great guy, right? I've even got a broker ready to make the deal for this mutant heart. Everything will be taken care of cleanly, without a single trace." Hearing that, Taigu started sweating even more. Isn't that human trafficking? On the phone screen, a video was playing. Lately, there had been a string of kidnappings targeting mutant hearts. Rumor has it that the government or research institutes will pay to buy them. His hand, propped on the ground, began to tremble. "I thought those were just rumors I heard online. I can't believe the boss is involved in the kind of stuff you only see on YouTube." Taigu waved his hands frantically, his voice soft as he tried to persuade him. "Boss, that guy is nothing special. Please, believe me." The moment he finished speaking, Yang-chun flew into a rage and kicked him squarely in the stomach. "You son of a bitch." Taigu couldn't react in time and was thrown backward. The sudden pain made him grimace, tears welling in his eyes. "Damn it!" Yang-chun roared in anger, balling his fists. "Get him." In his rage, Yang-chun repeatedly stomped on the boy's head, planning to beat him until he finally talked. Taigu could do nothing but lie there and take the beating. "Please don't. Stop." His body curled up into a ball, absorbing the continuous kicks. He squeezed his eyes shut, shielding his head with his hands. The scene was no different from when Taigu was a student. "You damn, useless piece of trash." Back then, he could only lie on the floor, whimpering and begging for them to stop. "Stop this right now." But the bullies just cursed at him even more. "You damn bookworm." Just then, the much larger Yang-chun appeared from behind with 2 others, stopping them. "Hey, who gave you first year's permission to bully someone? You guys got a death wish?" Terrified, the bullies scrambled away. "We're sorry. Let's get out of here." He then turned his attention to the skinny, beaten-up boy. "Hey, Taigu." In his state, the boy could only cower. "Yes, sir." Yang-chun, holding a cigarette, squatted down and burst out laughing. "It's me, your boss, kid. If you're one of our dojo's guys, you shouldn't let yourself get beaten up like this." Now, it was Taigu's body curled up on the ground, taking a beating from that same person. The boss seemed so righteous, he was a great fighter, and he was so cool. The 3 of them paused for a moment, all panting. "I used to want to be like you guys, because you all looked so amazing." Taigu lay miserably on the ground, his cheeks swollen and his head bleeding. Is this brat gonna keep his mouth shut till the very end? Is it possible he really doesn't know? No, hell no. I've known this kid for a long time. I can smell his lies from a mile away. He squatted down nearby once more, trying to reason with him. "Taigu, you're pretty loyal, huh? That's cool, man." His expression softened a bit, but he remained stubborn. "But listen, kid, selling him to a broker is no joke." The boy's swollen face was pressed against the ground, one eye swollen shut. "If you sold him yourself, you'd make, what? 200-300 at most, right?" Yang-chun's face was full of malice as he held up one finger. "When your body is broken and battered, loyalty won't mean a damn thing. Bring me the chain." He took the links and wrapped them around his hand. "You used to say you wanted to live a cool life." Yang-chun slammed his other fist into his chain-wrapped hand. "Making a ton of money. Now that's the coolest, most badass way to live. Kid." He held out his chained hand and smiled. "Let's you and I live the high life together." Taigu's face was already a mess of bruises, but he still tried to push himself up. "Boss, I'm sorry." But the next words out of his mouth made the atmosphere incredibly tense. "Boss, you're not cool at all anymore." As soon as the words were out, his face filled with terror, as if realizing what the hell he had just said. The wrinkles on Yang-chun's forehead deepened as rage boiled up. "Is that so? I get it, Taigu. You little son of a bitch." Panicked, the boy threw his hands up in front of his face. "Boss, I'm sorry. It just slipped out." Enraged, Yang-chun ready to punch with his chain-wrapped arm. "Go to hell." Suddenly, a more slender hand stopped his arm in its tracks. Yang-chun glared over, only to be met with a calm voice. "The links of this chain are almost as thick as a pinky finger. On top of that, you can see the weld marks and the rough surface." Jio, holding a small puppy, appeared and stopped Yang-chun. Getting hit by something like this, a wound like that would take a long time to heal. His lackeys immediately noticed the newcomer. "Who the hell is this guy?" Taigu lifted his swollen, dirty face to look up. "Why is it Kim Jio?" The man calmly squatted down right in front of him. "I came looking for you. I saw you weren't coming back." Gripped by fear, the boy urged him to leave. "Run! They're They're bosses that I know. Kim Jio sat nearby and listened in silence, his eyes wide with surprise. Actually, I'm the one who called them here. I called them to take care of you. I even told them that you're a mutant heart. Hearing this, Kim Jio couldn't believe his ears. Why? Bitter, Taegu could only grit his teeth. Tears welled up in his eyes as he spoke. Because I was so pissed off that you beat me. I'm sorry. But the man just calmly reassured him. It's okay. Kim Jio was still holding Yang Chun's arm tightly while talking to the boy. Why would you let them hit you with something like this? Yang Chun's eyes narrowed, his face half covered in shadow. Taegu was so scared his pupils froze in place. One of the goons snuck up from behind, swinging a baseball bat. The man's eyebrows furrowed right after he landed the blow. Jio felt a pain from the back of his neck so intense his eyes rolled back in his head. Immediately, his body collapsed to the floor and the three thugs rushed in, beating him relentlessly. His head couldn't lift up as he continuously endured the heavy blows. The puppy Jio brought with him barked nonstop in anger. Taegu, witnessing this, was both terrified and desperately tried to reach out. No way. The thug in the mask squatted down nearby, holding a baseball bat. You're that mutant heart guy, aren't you? You actually walked right in here to die. Jio's 5 fingers clenched tightly on the bloody ground. His long, slender fingers began to bulge and twitch. The masked thug frowned, his eyes staring down in confusion. Suddenly, he took a surprise uppercut to the chin. He lost his balance and fell backward, forcing Yang Chun to lean aside to dodge. The thug's face was distorted, and his eyes were rolled back as he lay there. Jio's dirt-covered body slowly began to rise. He managed to stand up straight, but his head was still bowed toward the ground. Yang Chun shouted furiously, ordering his men, "Get him!" He stood still in one spot, letting the gang of thugs surround and charge at him, beat him to a pulp. They swarmed him, continuously landing powerful blows on his body. Jio threw a single punch, and one of them was sent flying. One by one, the others also took a single punch that left their faces twisted as they flew back, spitting blood. His face was pale, his eyes ice-cold as he punched relentlessly. Jio used his agile body to strike, then planted his feet on the ground. His eyebrows furrowed, and the corners of his eyes grew sharp and cold. One last masked thug arrogantly charged forward, swinging his bat. He landed a direct hit on Jio's head, drawing blood. But Kim Jio remained standing, and punched the man squarely in the side, causing his whole body to buckle. His entire body was slammed to the ground, shattering pieces of the floor. A thug in a black shirt saw the situation and grew worried. What the hell is this? How is he so strong? The remaining thug in red, with his eyes half closed, struggled to get up. Is he even human? Jio's eyes turned pitch black as one hand lifted the masked thug by the neck. Yang Chun, so enraged his face turned purple, charged forward with a sharp weapon. You useless bastards, get out of the way. He stabbed Jio in the back from behind. This guy is just flesh and bone. If I stab him, he'll be meeting his maker. He boasted as he deliberately pushed the weapon deeper into his back. How's that, you son of a bitch? Hurts like hell, doesn't it? Jio's black hair hung over his face, and 2 streams of blood trickled from the corners of his mouth. Yang Chun still wouldn't let go. He pulled the weapon out and, gritting his teeth, prepared to strike again. Damn it, die, you goddamn monster. Kim Jio suddenly grabbed the sharp blade with his bare hand. Yang Chun froze, his face turning pale with disbelief. One of Jio's hands held the knife, while the other glared up at him. That's enough stabbing. Even as the blade cut into the flesh of his hand, Jio simply ripped it away from him. Yang Chun finally began to tremble, his whole body shaking with fear. What the fuck? What the hell are you? What kind of heart do you have to be stabbed like that and act like nothing happened? Kim Jio fell silent, staring at the knife cutting into his own hand. Me? He glared with furious eyes, then lunged forward, stabbing Yang Chun in the thigh. You don't have permission to know. Seeing this, the other thugs started to flee. I told you we shouldn't mess with those mutant-hearted freaks. I'm out. Me too. In a flash, he zipped right over there. A red gleam shot from his eyes, dragging Yang Chun along as he chased after the fleeing thugs. His pupils had turned a blood red. Now that you all know who I am. A terrifying light flashed in Jio's eyes. Not a single one of you is getting out of here. The little puppy outside wagged its tail and barked happily. Yang Chun, his face beaten to a pulp, was grabbed by the hair. Another thug's face was squeezed until it shriveled. Kim Jio stood there imposingly, holding up the heads of the 2 men with his hands. He looked up and glanced in the direction of someone calling his name. Taegu, his body bruised and battered, was still trying to crawl closer to him. Are you okay? You've been stabbed. I'll call an ambulance right now. Just wait a second. Kim Jio remained calm, placing a hand on his upper body to check himself. It's nothing. I'm fine. But Taegu was still extremely worried. What? That wound. His swollen face was covered in sweat. Taegu's gaze grew ashamed, and he looked down, avoiding eye contact. Then, a single phrase escaped his lips. I'm sorry. Taigu clenched his fist and repeatedly punched himself in the head, blaming himself. Hey, Taigu, you goddamn idiot, you should have just died. I told you to choose your friends carefully. Suddenly, one sentence made Jio freeze. Selling out anyone else would be one thing, but how could you sell out your own friend? Taigu crawled pathetically on the floor. I'm sorry. I was the one who was going to sell you out. I used to be really close with those bosses. His face contorted with self-loathing, and he gritted his teeth. I thought that if I stuck with them, everything would be okay. I thought it was so cool. Turns out, I'm just the same kind of trashy thug they are. He timidly looked up. Kim Jio said nothing, just held out a folded, soft object in front of him. Kim Jio knelt on one knee beside him and reminded Taigu, your nose is bleeding. Use this to wipe it. He took the object from his hand. You're giving this to me to wipe the blood? He replied curtly. Yeah. But when Taigu saw what was actually in his hand, he froze. This is a puppy pee pad. You gotta be kidding me, you devil. Taigu managed to sit up and used it to wipe the blood as instructed. Well, I might as well wipe it now before I get beaten again. Kim Jio suddenly spoke up. A moment ago, you said you weren't qualified to be my friend anymore. His face softened into a gentle smile. It seems I'm not the only one who thinks of us as friends. So, everything's okay. Taigu, in his surprised state, blinked up at him. He was so moved that his face turned red and tears started to well up in his eyes. Taigu burst into tears and lunged forward, pulling Jio into a tight hug. Jio, unable to do anything, could only endure the powerful embrace. I'm so sorry. You're just too good of a person. Yeah,